are on a one-year mission to put Germany to the test and find out if living here is better than our lives in the US. Is the US really the best at everything? Will we be pushed beyond our breaking point and be forced to leave? Can Germany convince us we need to change anything about ourselves? The one-year clock is ticking and we are down to... How much time is left? We've been here for 7 years now? What happened to just 1 year? Oh yeah, we have found a lot of things about life in Germany that just makes a lot of sense. And that's exactly what I'm gonna talk about today in my video. Check it out, Mike Pence. These German things just make sense. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I am Donnie, and along with my wife Aubrey, we are two Americans currently living in Germany with our family sharing all of our experiences living and traveling throughout Europe. We all know Arnold Schwarzenegger's voice.
Ich werde euch jetzt ein paar Fragen stellen. Und ich möchte, dass sie schnellstens beantwortet werden.
Wait, that's not Arnold Schwarzenegger? Doch. Okay, that is Arnold, but that's not his voice. 9. When we moved to Germany, we weren't shocked to find movies and TV shows dubbed in German. Unlike their Dutch neighbors who prefer to read their movies rather than watch them, Germans prefer the uncanny valley of German voices over moving English lips. Germans dub everything. Dr. Pimple Popper? Dubbed.
Sie sind wie ich.
John Stamos? Dubbed.
Möchte ich dich fragen, gibt es da irgendein ein Geheimnis bei dieser Party, die Becky veranstaltet?
Me? Dubbed.
Wir begannen mit den Videos, als wir auf Weltreise waren. Wir wollten, dass unsere besorgten Mütter sehen, was wir so machen den ganzen Tag.
Okay, but that was before I learned to speak German. Nowadays, when I'm on TV, I'm my own voice talent.
Ich weiß es nicht. Deutschland ist viel mehr vielfältig, als ich ursprünglich gedacht habe.
But German dubbing isn't like old kung fu movies. Hello, funny meeting you here again. Many Germans will have you believe that their dubbing is the best in the world and is so good you almost don't even realize it's not the original language. And part of the way that Germans create this illusion is one thing in Germany that I only learned about after moving here, and it just makes sense. It's that they generally have one German voice actor designated as the voice for a specific Hollywood actor their entire career. Thomas Danneberg was Sylvester Stallone's voice. Manfred Lehmann was the voice of Bruce Willis. Thomas Danneberg, Terence Hill. David Nathan, Johnny Depp. Thomas Danneberg, John Travolta. Wolfgang Pampel, Harrison Ford. Thomas Danneberg, Arnold Schwarzenegger. And who did my dubbing? Just kidding. I have no idea, but Thomas Danneberg seemed to be quite busy dubbing half of Hollywood. But to me, this is genius. As someone who never watched a dubbed film before coming to Germany, and who still doesn't watch dubbed films even living in Germany, I never thought about how it could destroy the illusion if in one film RFK Jr. sounds like this.
I agree with you on everything that you said.
And in another sounds like this.
Stimme ich Ihnen in allem zu.
Now, if a voice actor retires or passes away, what do? Well, they don't stop showing films or shows containing that voice actor's Hollywood star in Germany and pretend they died too. Simply, a new voice will be assigned to the actor. For example, Arnold is now dubbed by Bernd Egger. But I do want to ask, do you prefer to watch movies in the original version, dubbed, or with subtitles? I've already talked about how good Germans are in bed. I mean, at making beds. I like how they make their beds with 2 duvets rather than 1 to share like Americans do. But what goes along with bed? Breakfast. Although German breakfasts aren't necessarily an American's dream breakfast, who looks at cold cuts, bread rolls, and vegetables and can't figure out how that constitutes a breakfast when they are used to sugar cereals, rivers of syrup on pancakes, and biscuits and chocolate gravy. Oh, you don't know about chocolate gravy? Yeah, it's a unique specialty out of the Ozarks. But as an American, such as myself, was perusing the German breakfast table at an assortment of B's and B's across Germany, I came across a little detail that at first glance isn't seem revolutionary, but it simply makes a lot of sense. And it's this. But a fairly common thing that we have found in all of our travels is that German hotels will put a tiny trash can called a Tischmülleimer on the table so you can directly dispose of your tiny jelly packaging, napkins, or raw pork you thought they forgot to cook before you learned that Germans do indeed eat raw pork for breakfast. Now, I do have to admit, although I do think this simply makes sense and keeps my vacation a bit more orderly, I am confused as to why Germans have reserved themselves in this instance, and rather than, in my opinion, taking efficiency a bit overboard as per German usual, they have just one bin at the table rather than Plastik, Bio, Restmüll, Papier und Pfand. This is actually a very good idea. Wait, no, please forget that I ever said that. Please don't complicate my brain. One thing Germany is famous for is their bureaucracy. This is something that a lot of foreigners first moving to Germany, like myself, greatly underestimate. Even after becoming fluent in German and living here for 7 years, dealing with some of Germany's complicated bureaucracy in German is still headache-inducing. And banking is one of those key things that when first coming here can be a tad overwhelming. A lot overwhelming. Thankfully, to solve this problem, another thing that just makes sense is the sponsor of today's video, Bunk. Bunk is a dream because signing up on their app only takes 5 minutes and you can do everything in your language. And you can sign up before moving to Germany to instantly get a German IBAN without needing a tax ID right away. Bunk also simply makes sense because it's 100% online. We have the ability to freeze our cards, set spending limits, and manage spending anytime and anywhere right from our phone. One of my favorite features, we still have to deal with a lot of finances in USD. Bunk giving us the ability to have multi-currency accounts so we can easily hold and manage different currencies in one place is a game changer. Since Bunk is a fully licensed EU bank with the Dutch deposit guarantee scheme up to 100,000 euro, we know our money is safe. Use my link in the description to try it yourself for free for 30 days, no strings attached, and it only takes 5 minutes. Germans often get a pretty bad rap. They're harsh, cruel. There are rules nobody can understand. Oh, wait, this doesn't say Germans. This says German, as in the language. Sorry. Yeah, the German language can be pretty unforgiving for those of us trying to learn it, especially for those of us like me at a, well, I'm no spring chicken anymore, so trying to get a new language to penetrate the old Gehirn isn't as easy as it used to be.
Besonders weil ich nicht so jung bin, es ist ein bisschen schwieriger durchzulernen.
But I do have to admit that as I was learning German, there was one thing that stuck out to me as genius and something that just makes sense that does not exist in English. So the day before yesterday, I was going to see The Day After Tomorrow, but the day before that, the tickets sold out. So now today, I've decided I'll call tomorrow about seeing The Day After Tomorrow, The Day After Tomorrow. In German, they don't say The Day After Tomorrow. Well, actually they do if they are talking about the 2004 film with Jake Gyllenhaal. Gyllenhaal? Or Gyllenhaal.
It is actually Gyllenhaal.
In German, they don't have time to say the day after tomorrow, unless they are again talking about the movie. They have just one word, übermorgen. That's it. And saying day before yesterday is just far too inefficient for Germans. They just say vorgestern. Of course. Why would we waste time explaining something about the day before another when we could just use one word for this? Then why haven't you come up with a word for boyfriend or girlfriend yet in German? We don't have time for relationships. We must work. Yes, the German door. Something that instills a new sense of stress and panic when leaving the house that I never experienced in the US, but also something that just makes sense and I find genius. American doors typically have a handle or a turning knob on the outside and inside that you use for unlatching the door so you can open it and go inside.
German doors typically don't and either have a bar, a handle, or a fixed knob that you use just to push the door open. Oh, geez. Have I done it again? German doors typically don't and have either a bar, a handle, or a fixed knob that you use, along with a key that turns, and then you just push the door open. German doors have a self-locking mechanism so that when you walk out and close the door behind you, it is automatically locked from the outside, and there is, therefore, no need to use the keys to lock behind you or anything. Nein, your door is locked in only the most of simplest terms. What you really need to do, and let me explain this because this will not stop someone from breaking into your house. At minimum, you should use your key to lock the door. But what you really need to do is find a more secure way of locking your door. Okay, yes, technically he is correct. When you just close your door, in some cases your door can actually be opened with just a credit card, even though it is locked.
Diesmal benutzt unser Einbrecher eine einfache Scheckkarte.
Guten Tag. Hallo, guten Tag.
Personally, I have been known to climb on balconies and through windows to get inside when I have forgotten my keys, but I guess next time I could just try another technique. Germans are world famous for being chill, relaxed, highly laid back, carefree, and perhaps a bit spontaneous. Was? And they are known for their sense of humor and ability to detect humor. Nein! Oh. Okay, perhaps this isn't what the world thinks of Germans, but overall, I will admit that Germans have taught us a great deal about work-life balance.
Mit Work-Life-Balance und 4-Tage-Woche lässt sich der Wohlstand unseres Landes, den wir heute haben, in Zukunft nicht erhalten. Und deswegen müssen wir mehr arbeiten.
Okay, well, I feel like I've learned a great deal about creating a better work-life balance in Germany. In fact, Germans have mathematically optimized biopsychothermodynamic recalibration protocols fully compliant with DIN certified relaxation standards to enhance a post-holiday productivity via quantum-level efficient work energy conservation. What is he talking about? I'm talking about how Germans stagger school holidays to help with crowd levels and Autobahn disruptions to ensure the most relaxing holiday possible. Really? Who wants to start their holiday stuck in Stau and pulling your hair out while your kids in the back are screaming and crying? Therefore, Germany establishes their summer vacations to be staggered amongst the states so the roads are not slammed with families trying to take vacation. Some states will start summer holidays as early as June, and some won't start until August. Those that start earlier will end their holidays at various times in August, and those that start their holidays later won't go back to school until almost the first day of fall in September. Obviously, they don't stagger holidays like Christmas or Easter because you can't have some kids celebrating Christmas on Valentine's Day or Easter in June. Now, technically, the US does this as well, but not with the intentionality like Germans. In the US, schools across the country start and end summer vacations at different times, not because of a master plan to stagger holidays so road trips can be taken in peace, but because of how the school system is established. Rather than federal or state governments telling schools their schedules, individual school districts determine their calendars. This naturally creates a mess of different start and end dates because of different ideas of when vacations should be taken purely for their own interest, not the interest of the nation per se. But look, the German system isn't perfect. There still typically is about one weekend when every state will be on vacation and travel could be a nightmare. But I just have to figure out why, with such amazing planning for school holidays to avoid horrific Stau on the Autobahns, why Germans can't figure out how to avoid horrific Stau you still inevitably get caught in anyways because of their never-ending construction. To see who made it this far into the video, the random question of the week is: do you strictly follow expiration dates on food? Thanks so much for watching this video, guys. Be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons, and I will see you in my next video.
Yeah, good.
Oh! I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
We're having sushi.
We're having pot roast. And baking, not baking. And baking, no, not baking.